In this series, we're gonna be reproducing the following page by using Tailwind CSS framework. So let's jump right in. I'm going to switch over to Tailwind CSS website, open up section with installation instructions. In this case, I will use placeIDE installation method, which is not suitable for production, but for development purposes, this is the fastest way. So to integrate Tailwind CSS in the project, we firstly have to include Tailwind CSS script on the page. Let's copy over this whole code snippet, since we don't have the page yet. Let's jump into the editor. Currently, I don't have any files in the project folder, so let's create the template called index.html and paste just copied markup. And the most important thing on this page is the inclusion of this script, which is going to make Tailwind CSS work. Now, I'm also going to install additional npm package called live server that is going to automatically reload the page in the browser after we're going to make modifications to our template. So let's install the live server by using npm. Please note, I'm installing it globally to be able to use live server from within any folder in operating system. And then while being at the project root, I'm going to run live server that is going to launch the server and show us the address by which our page will be available in a browser. And if we're gonna see the underscored text, that means Tailwind CSS works. So we're gonna go section by section. Let's start from the very first one, which is this header with navigation and the logo. Let's jump in to the editor, and right here let's create the first section, which will be represented by the header tag. The first element will be the logo with the text. And down here I'm going to place navigation, which will be represented by the unordered list. Each list item will have link. The first link will be library, second one login page, and the third one will be sign up link. Let's check it out in the browser if all these elements are shown. Here they are. Now it's time to find an appropriate icon for the logo. I'm going to use hero icons. So right here, let's search for the code icon, and then let's copy over the SVG code of this icon and paste it in the editor, right above this span element. And after we make sure that this icon will be shown on the page, it's time to apply some styles to this icon. Before that, we're going to place an icon as well as the text on the same line, and for that I'm going to make parent element flexible container and position child elements in the center vertically, and the distance between child elements will be 2 units. And now let's work on styles for the icon. First of all, I'll increase the size of this icon. For example, let's use 12 units, and then I will rotate this icon a little bit and specify the text color, which will be indigo with a shade of 600. And right away I'm going to increase the text size of the project name and make it bold by using class font black. Then we'll have to move navigation to be placed at the same row as logo. So let's make this container flexible and position child elements in the center vertically, and the distance between all child elements, meaning that the distance between logo and the navigation will be 10 units. And to actually place all navigation items on the same row, I'm going to make this unordered list flexible container. Also apply items center class to position those elements vertically in a center, and add some space in between all those list elements, for example 8 units. Then we'll make it so that the first list item will shift the rest of items to the very right side of the parent element by using a more auto class that is going to apply margin right property with the value of auto, and then to make this navigation element cover all available space within its parent element, I'm going to assign class called grow. Now let's assign some styles to the individual list elements. The font will be semi-bold, and when hovering over this link, the text color should change and should be indigo with a shade of 600. And exact same classes we're also going to apply to the second login link in here. And as for the third link, it will be kind of unique because we're going to make it look like a button. So first of all, I'm going to add some horizontal spacing, let's say 3 units. The vertical spacing will be 2 units. The font will be semi-bold. We're also going to round the corners of this button. The background color of the button will be indigo with a shade of 600. The text color will also be indigo, but with a shade of 50. And when hovering over this link, the background color will be indigo with a shade of 700, a little bit darker than the original one. Alright, cool, we are almost done. Now let's add some spacing at the top and the bottom of this header. I'm going to use py4 class for this, which is going to add padding top and padding bottom and set it to 4 units. And just to position this container in the middle of the page, let's assign a max auto class to this div container. And with that, our header is ready. Link to the source code of this project will be in the video description.